Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to review the TCL NXTPAPER 11 tablet, which worked kind of like an e-ink display but in color. This summer, TCL has introduced the Tab 10 NXTPAPER 5G, which is still budget friendly, but it also packs in an upgraded display and 5G connectivity. Special thanks to TCL for sending over this tablet for my review. The new Tab 10 NXTPAPER 5G comes in this beautiful dark blue color, as you can see here, and it's available through Verizon for $240. In the box, it comes with a Type-C charger and data cable, and I really appreciate that this is an 18-watt fast charger, which is bundled with it, so you don't have to buy that separately. Now, this does not feel like a budget tablet. Yes, it is mostly plastic in construction, but it definitely feels really nice in hand. It is very solid, it weighs a little over 16 ounces or a pound, and it is a good size. That's 10 inches, but it is just 0.31 inches thin. Other than that USB-C charging port, which is found on the side, it also has expandable storage and a SIM slot combined. It is lacking an IP rating though, so make sure not to dunk this thing in water. Speaking of water, I want to dive into this NXTPAPER tech for the display. This is a very eye care friendly display. It is sporting that 10.4-inch display with a 2K resolution. That's 2000 by 1200. It is not just any display though. This one is designed to reduce blue light and glare, making it easier on your eyes, especially if you read a lot of documents or you do a lot of work in front of a display normally. Now, since it is glare-free, as you can see in the studio, it is really easy to use, whether you're in a place with a lot of lights like in my studio here, but the peak brightness is only 600, which is going to be really low whenever you use this outdoors. I will say it's extremely sunny here in Colorado, and this display is super dark outside, but indoors it is excellent. We have a 60 Hertz refresh rate here. It is noticeably slow, but what really sets this display apart is how it preserves the original colors without that harsh blue light. The biggest upgrade I noticed between this one and the older NXTPAPER 11 is how crisp, clear, and comfortable the viewing experience is on the new tablet. It uses the TCL NXTPAPER technology, which is that multi-layer screen with a nano-etched film that disperses light and glare, so it sort of diffuses, kind of like an umbrella diffuser would diffuse light over a professional photography light. So you end up with this very soft feeling matte surface as opposed to a glossy or shiny display. Now, the way you switch modes is through the settings. Go to the setting called NXTPAPER Zone and click on that. It's a little easier when rotated, but you can see the 3 different settings here. You can choose between color paper, ink paper, or regular mode. First is this color paper option, which gives you less saturation and the colors are not as vibrant. They look more muted. Then you have ink paper. Now, ink paper reminds me of an e-reader, and it gives you this very paper-like display. Lastly, we have regular mode here. This is bright, vibrant. You got saturated colors via the vivid color option. Now, each of these modes requires a couple of seconds to switch between them. For example, when I switch to the ink paper version, it does take a few seconds to switch there. If I switch to color and hit apply, that's also going to take a few seconds. If you go back to the regular mode here, that will also give you access to display options. Under color mode and temperature, you can then choose vivid, natural, or advanced. Next Vision is also a setting you can check out. This also allows you to enable or disable additional display settings to enhance the look of games, images, and video. Now, funny enough, you can actually play games and watch videos with any of the display settings. Like, I'm playing Genshin Impact here, even though it's on the e-ink display. It's just gonna look different whenever you switch between them. It's certainly kind of weird playing games on a smooth display that happens to look like an e-ink reader without the refresh every time a pixel changes from black to white, but I can see how this could be kind of useful. Like playing on the tablet at night and not wanting to have the eye strain, or maybe you want to conserve some battery, you've got some options. Like, how weird is that? Doesn't that look strange? Now, before I get sucked into playing Genshin Impact for a long period of time, ooh, I found a boar. No, come back. I need food. Do you like tablet reviews? Because if you do, subscribe, and that will tell me that I should make more videos like this one. Subscribing is totally free too, so it's the easiest way to show me that you support my channel. Now, under the hood, this thing is powered by a MediaTek octa-core processor. the MediaTek 8755 system on a chip, or the SoC, with up to 2.2 GHz speeds. Now paired with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage, it looks pretty great, but before you balk at the storage spec, it is expandable up to a whopping 2 terabytes with a microSD card. I love that we have expandable storage as an option in 2024 for a tablet. That's kind of a rarity and it's a big selling point. Battery life is not absolutely terrible on this thing. The 6,000 mAh battery does promise up to 20 hours of usage time, which is pretty great, and it can also do up to 15 days on standby. Now when you do need to juice up, that 18-watt fast charging does get you back to work pretty quickly or back into your video game with around 3 hours to fully charge, which can certainly be faster but is fine for an overnight charge. In my real life testing, I was able to drain the battery after 6.5 hours on screen time. That was connected to Wi-Fi, full brightness, streaming YouTube videos with a little bit of gaming thrown in as well. Not exactly a scientific test, but if you aren't watching 6 hours of YouTube videos, it should power you through a workday just fine. Now, I know that tablets are not usually the go-to for photography, and please do not stand in the middle of a crowd and hold up a tablet to take photos. Just don't do that. TCL's camera module is fine for a tablet. These are definitely useful for things like video calls. On the back, you get this 8 megapixel rear camera. There's also an 8 megapixel front-facing camera on the front of the device. Both of these are capable of doing about 1080p video at 30 FPS, and both of them have an f2.0 aperture. The rear camera even has autofocus and a flash, but if you are looking for some high-quality camera specs, use your phone instead. Stick to this for your video calls. There is no portrait mode whenever you're taking photos, and there are dark parts of my photos that don't have a lot of detail, while on a sunny day, it is a little bit overexposed. One thing I noticed when switching to video on the TCL tablet is it does zoom in. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get some videos on here, or if you're doing a video call, you might not be able to get as wide of an angle as you do with photography. Also, how does this sound? How does it look? It looks like there's not much in terms of stabilization. So if you are using this for video calls, do keep that in mind. Sucky, shake. Good girl. Good girl. Yes, zooming on the dog. Zooming out. Now stick around to the end of the video to see some photography tests I did on a brand new smartphone at a castle in Colorado. I know, totally random, but that will show you why you shouldn't use this for photos. I also wanted to say a big Patreon shout out to Victor B. You can join Victor and support my channel by going to patreon.com/ShannonMorse for perks like early access to videos and my private Discord. As usual, all of the videos on my channel are totally free to watch, and I thank my YouTube members and patrons for making that possible. Now this packs in 5G service from Verizon, plus you have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.3, and no NFC. My speed tests were not breakneck speeds, but they were satisfactory on my Wi-Fi 6 environment. The OS is Android 14, and there are plenty of options for customizing your experience. Now I will say though, there's a lot of bloatware apps on here. When you're looking through here, I counted 9 mobile games which were pre-installed, plus we have One Weather, which was up here at the top. We have Chime, Disney Plus, Facebook, Home Depot, local news, and Verizon also has 3 different applications that are branded as well. So that's a little excessive in my opinion. Whenever you want to unlock, the facial recognition is great for unlocking your device, but it is not secure enough, for example, to use with your banking app. Since a fingerprint sensor is not included whatsoever, I would recommend setting up a strong PIN or a passcode in order to better secure your device. You will only get 2 years of security updates in this tablet and 1 OS update. When I'm watching videos or listening to music, my experience was really good overall. I noticed that I do sometimes cover up one of the speakers if I hold the tablet in the corner whenever I have it facing upwards like so. There are going to be 2 stereo speakers, one on each side, and they are very well balanced. Video looks really good on this tablet, but I also noticed that if I shift the tablet back and forth, some darker sections can look a little bit washed out while in the regular mode due to the matte display finish. So as for gaming, it surprisingly does not get hot at all, just a little tad warmer on the back of the device. My Genshin Impact gaming was generally smooth, but you can see some lag whenever you're moving around in the menus, and the resolution is low enough that there are some noticeable line tears in moving character costumes. This tablet is compatible with a stylus. I'm just using a very inexpensive Amazon branded stylus that I will link down below, but because of that nice matte display, it feels a bit like moving your pencil around on paper, and it's really easy to use. So I love that we have a budget-friendly option on the market with a cool, unique display. The NXTPAPER display is a standout, especially if eye strain is a big concern, and the overall performance is more than capable for your everyday tasks. Plus, with that long battery life and 5G connectivity, it's a really great option if you need to stay connected on the go. For the price, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. So if you're looking for a tablet that won't break the bank, then the TCL Tab 10 NXTPAPER 5G should definitely stay on your radar. It's a good recommendation if you're looking for something with versatility as an ebook reader, as well as a regular inexpensive Android tablet as well. Do you have questions or thoughts on the TCL Tab 10 NXTPAPER 5G? Drop them in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and shout out to my Patreon members listed here for supporting the channel. Last week I did an analog offline adventure. I went to this cool place here in Colorado called Bishop Castle. It's this totally random castle built by a local guy with some pretty sketchy stairs and platforms that are super high off the ground, but it was totally worth the drive and the visit. I will be showing off some more photos of this place on my Pixel 9 Pro XL and my Samsung Fold 6 reviews, which are coming up this month. See you next time. Bye y'all. Run away, run away. Can't deal with those right now. Nope. Bye. I am running away. I'm gonna die while trying to record a review. Not good. Let's just hang out over here. Okay.